To many, this is a classic horror story that stands the test of time. One of the ultimate horrors of the known world, and certainly one of the most iconic horror novels of all time, paving the way for horror writers of the past, present, and future. That's right, today we will be talking about Dracula by Bram Stoker. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be reviewing Dracula by Bram Stoker. So, Dracula is just a masterpiece of a horror novel. I mean, not only is it just really good in itself, but it also, and this book and its 1931 movie adaptation by extension basically made every rule that we have for vampires still today. And without Dracula, we wouldn't have a lot of other vampire books like, say, Interview with the Vampire, Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which is my favorite vampire novel, and then the Twilight books. But yeah, so without Dracula, we wouldn't have the modern day vampire. But yeah, Dracula is just really solid and really interesting. So in order to actually explain why, I guess I should tell you what it is actually about. So Dracula is told entirely through the perspective of letters, notes, diary entries, journals, you name it, whatever someone could write down their feelings on, that's how the story is told. So it's not told like from a narrator, it's told from like everyone involved with the story. But it basically starts with this man named Jonathan Harker who recently became a solicitor. He has been asked by this rather elusive individual named Count Dracula to help him purchase a London house. And so he goes to Dracula's castle, and he's like, "Okay, this is weird." And so, of course, he meets Dracula himself. Pretty weird man. He's like a bit of an older guy, and so yeah, they just kind of get some explaining and stuff. And for the next couple weeks, nothing really happens. But then Jonathan gets attacked, or I guess gets approached by these three women vampires. But Dracula saves Harker, and then he leaves. And so after Jonathan is basically forced to survive against the women himself, he's like, "Okay, this is really weird," and then leaves. So while he's doing that, Dracula escapes on this boat called the Demeter, like that movie that came out recently called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. That's where that's from. And there's basically some stuff detailing what happened to the crew before the captain is the only one who's left. And then he eventually dies as well. Meanwhile, we catch up with Jonathan Harker's fiancée, Mina Murray, and her friend, Lucy. And Lucy has actually been proposed to by three men. One is Dr. Seward, one is Quincy Morris, and one is this guy named Arthur. And so she chooses Arthur because he's just the best one, but they all remain friends. And they're also like the main characters of the story. So anyway, stuff goes on, and needless to say, Lucy ends up getting bitten by something, and she has weird marks on her neck. And no one can figure out what this is, so Dr. Seward calls in his old teacher, Mr. Abraham Van Helsing. And Van Helsing does some stuff. He does some tests on Lucy and basically tells everyone that it's acute blood loss or something. He actually does know what it is, but he's not going to say anything yet, so keep it quiet. So anyway, meantime, Lucy's just getting worse and worse. Her skin is getting very pale. She's like growing fangs from her teeth and stuff and whatever. So that's like really weird. And then eventually, she and her mother end up getting ambushed by vampires or get attacked by something, and then her mother dies, and then she does shortly after. And then later, after her death, they like bury her and stuff in a tomb. But everyone starts finding out about a Bloofer lady, which is basically means a beautiful lady stalking children and maybe making them disappear or something. And so the guys just have a feeling that she could be a vampire. That's as easy as an explanation as it gets. So what they do is they go to her tomb, dig her up, and for one thing, she's a vampire. She's still alive. So they stake her in the heart, decapitate her, and then stuff her mouth with garlic. And that's about that. So now that Lucy has basically been revealed to be a vampire, the guys, and by extension, Jonathan and Mina, who are now married, by the way, or at least they're about to, they decide to dedicate the rest of their time hunting for Dracula. So this is where the book really gets going. I don't really know how far we are into the book at this point, but this is where things really get going. I'm kind of skipping over things, so don't worry if you feel lost. I'm sorry. But anyway, so basically, while they're searching for Dracula, Mina gets attacked by Dracula and gets bitten a couple times by either him or his assistant Renfield, who is constantly warning about the upcoming arrival of his master. And so basically Mina is slowly turning into a vampire little by little. And the only way for her to not turn into a vampire after she dies is if they kill Dracula himself. Air just came on, by the way, if you heard that sound. Anyway, so what they do is they kind of track Dracula around the place, destroy some boxes for Earth that he has. I don't really know what the boxes are. I'm sorry, I got kind of lost when reading this, so don't take my word for it, just read it to find out. But anyway, and they destroy most of these boxes, but they later find out that Dracula knows about their plan, and he has escaped on a ship back from England to Transylvania, where his castle is, with the last box. So basically, using some hypnosis, Van Helsing deduces that Mina can kind of track where Dracula is, and so they follow him to his castle. And basically what happens there is that they destroy the final box. There's a giant final fight between Dracula and his vampires and our main group. And so Jonathan kills Dracula by slashing him in the throat and decapitating him or something. And then Dracula just turns into dust. And so also Quincy Morris, who was very injured in the fight against the vampire people, he slowly dies, but he's happy because now that Dracula's dead, Mina is safe and will not become a vampire. So in the last page of the book, it is revealed that 7 years have passed, and Jonathan and Mina have a child who they have named Quincy. And I know I skipped over a lot of stuff that's probably very important, but that, for the most part, is how Dracula goes. So like I said in the actual recap of the story, Dracula was kind of weird for me. I don't hate it or anything. It's certainly not a bad book, but it's just the way that the pacing was and the way it was written, it was kind of hard for me to follow at a lot of points. So because I didn't like go in super in depth on what the story was and everything, I wasn't able to cover every single thing that happened because I just do not know every single thing that happens, and I do apologize for that. But Dracula, while it's not my favorite vampire book ever, as I said, that goes to Salem's Lot. Dracula is still a very good book. It's also not very long. It's only like just over 400 pages. And as I said, without this book and its subsequent movie adaptations, we wouldn't have the modern day vampires that we have today, like Kurt Barlow from Salem's Lot, or like any other vampire story, like Nosferatu, which was basically an adaptation of this book but illegal. Anyway, Dracula is very important, and it's certainly very gothic and very horror-like, which I appreciate. So I guess I'm really saying that my only major complaints with Dracula was just that the pacing and the writing weren't exactly what I was used to. But typically what I do with the books that I wasn't really big on the first time is that I like to put them back on the reread list, and then I reread them eventually and then see if my feelings are updated from there. So like Stephen King's Insomnia is on that list, Moby Dick is on that list, and now Dracula is as well. So I may not be super into it right now, but I guarantee you that whenever I reread it, I will know what to expect this time around, and I will hopefully love it a lot more. But outside of those feelings, it's still a great book. It's very iconic. It's very quick. And the characters are super interesting. And I also love the fact how like there's not like just a regular scene. Everything written in this book is just like letters and journal entries and whatever, which I think was really cool. It really kind of encapsulates the setting, you could say. But yeah, so basically this book is just about vampires and people trying to deal with those vampires. So if that's all you want, then Dracula was definitely the book for you. It isn't for me right now, but I guarantee you it probably will be upon a reread. But anyway, Dracula is just so iconic. It's really good. The pacing might be a little weird for you, but it's a classic for a reason, and I think I know that reason because it's just really good, and it's the basis for the modern day vampire. So anyway, yeah, go read Dracula. So yeah, guys, that is basically the end of the video. I'm sorry that this video is shorter than my videos have been recently. As I said, I was kind of confused while reading Dracula, so I wasn't able to describe every single thing that happened because I was just so confused. But anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry that this video was shorter, but don't worry, my next one will hopefully be longer because it is a book I have read before, actually. This is a reread, but I've never reviewed it. And I will go more into depth on that because you know why. Anyway, so yeah, once again, I apologize for the video being so short, but I hope you guys enjoyed this review on Dracula. If you liked it, please be sure to leave a like down below, and make sure to leave a comment to see what other books you want me to read in the future. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to BG's Books, because we have not hit 300 subscribers yet, but we are on that road. So please, let's get to 300 subscribers pretty soon. But yeah, anyway, I have a secret. I am actually a vampire. So I got to go. I gotta go stalk my next victim. But I will see you guys in the next video. I've been Mr. BG from BG's Books, and see you next time. I am going to suck your blood.